In this video we will implement the jump animation clip. Okay, as you can see we can jump. We also basically we playing jump animation clip. If you haven't watched the first video, I have link in the description. You can go ahead and check that out, or else you can start with this video as well if you want. Okay, so let's get started with this video. Animation. To do so you need animation tab, so I'm gonna drag this over here. If you can find animation tab, you just have to go to window in the top. Okay, as you can see window, then animation or control 6 for it will bring up instantly your animation tab, as well as in the bottom you can see animator. Okay, both of them are there. So what we will do, we will create a new clip. So select this player game object and click on this. Okay, and we will create a new clip. Click on create a new clip, and then we will move to assets, then animation folder, then player animation, and we will call it something like player underscore jump, name it. Okay, and click on save. So I'm gonna replace this one. Okay, so we have jump animation. So make sure you hit this record button to record your animation, and you need to drag all of the assets right over here in the animation tab. Okay, to of jump sprite sheet. So I'm gonna go to individual sprite, and then over here we have jump. So I'm gonna select all of the sprite by holding down shift, and let's drag it, move it over to animation tab. And if I hit this play button, so I'm gonna make spaces something like over here. So as you can see, little more, something like 10. Okay, I'm gonna move this one 5. Okay, this seems pretty cool. So once you are done, click on this red button one more time. I'm gonna move this animation tab now in the bottom. I have captured that, and if we move to animator tab and select this player game object, as you can see a new animation has been added to our animator tab, which is player underscore jump. Okay, so we need to make transition from run or idle if we just clicking on the space key on our keyboard as this, and at the moment we just standing on the ground, so we will jump. So we also need to play this jump animation clip. Okay, so we will set a some certain condition, and if that condition getting true, we will play this jump animation clip. Okay, so in the parameter you can see in the left, so click on this plus icon and select this time bool. Okay, and we know bool can be true or false. Let's call this one to be jump. Okay, jump, and we want to set this parameter to be true. Firstly we need to make transition from run and idle from to our jump animation clip. Okay, even we are running and try to press space key on our keyboard, we should play our jump animation clip instead of running. Okay, so let's make transition from both of this state. Okay, so right click on player underscore run and make transition to player jump, as well as player underscore idle to player underscore jump. Okay, and select these arrows. Oh, say if I'm gonna select from player run. So so we want to set this jump parameter to be true. Okay, then we should play this jump animation clip. So we have to select this arrow in the right, you can see has exit time. So we're gonna uncheck this, because as soon as we try to press our space key, we should immediately jump okay, on the air, in the air. So that's why we just unticking this exit time, has exit time. Also we're gonna set this transition duration to 0. In the bottom as you can see, list is empty. Okay, so basically it's saying condition, so we need to choose a condition, in which condition we want to go to that jump animation clip. Okay, so we just want to set this jump parameter to be checked, basically means true. Okay, unchecked basically means false. So we want to set this parameter to be true. So if this parameter is true, we will play the jump animation clip. Okay, so hit this plus icon. So instead of run, okay, we will choose this condition, which is jump 1, and we will select true. Okay, instead of false. And also we need to do the same thing from our idle. Okay, when we just standing on the ground, and if we try to press space key on our keyboard, we should play the jump animation clip as well. Okay, so select this arrow, okay, and untick this as exit time. Also set this transition duration to 0. In the bottom we will choose the condition, which in this situation we also gonna set this jump parameter to be true. Okay, so if this jump parameter is true, we will play this jump animation clip. Okay, now if I hit this play button and I just set this jump parameter manually to be active or inactive, basically true or false, that jump animation clip will be played. Okay, that jump animation will be played. Sorry for the background, it's just raining a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, but if I uncheck this, we should play our running or idle depending upon if the player is moving or not. Okay, so as you can see, we stuck in the jump animation clip, so we also need to go back to idle or running depending upon if the player is really moving or not. Okay, so let's make transition back to those from this player jump to run or player jump to idle. Okay, so right click on player jump and make transition to player run, as well as do the same thing for idle. Okay, make transition from jump to idle. Okay, and this time select this arrow. Okay, so what we want to do, we want to uncheck this as exit time. As soon as we just land or land on the ground, we should play idle or jumping depending upon if the player is moving or not. Okay, so that's why we setting this as exit time untick, as well as we will set this transition duration to 0 as soon as we possible. Okay, and in this situation we will set this parameter to be false, which is jump. Okay, we will set that jump parameter to be false. Okay, so let's choose that. So we will set this jump parameter to be false. Basically, if we uncheck this jump parameter, the player will just play the idle animation clip, but we will choose a second condition. Okay, we will check if the player is moving or not. Let's suppose player is moving, basically running, so we should play running in animation clip instead of idle. Okay, so that's why we need to choose a second condition. If we going back to idle or run animation clip, we need to check if the player is really moving or not. Okay, and by according to that we will play a animation clip, something like a running or jumping. Okay, so let's choose second condition, hit this plus icon one more time. So when we go back to idle, basically means that condition, this run parameter we just setting 0. Okay, and we will set this 0.1. Okay, and we will set this laser. Basically we setting this run parameter to be something like 0, and we know if we set that to 0, we will play the running animation clip instead of instead of we will play idle animation clip instead of running. Okay, and for this, okay, for running, going back jump from to run, what we will do, we will untick this as exit time, and let's set this 0 transition duration, and let's go to down. And for this, firstly we will set this jump parameter to be false, basically unchecked, and we will choose a second condition. Okay, in this condition we will check. Okay, so if we go back to run animation clip, basically means that in that situation that run parameter will be 1, and we know if it's 1, it will play the running animation clip instead of idle. Okay, so we will set this run parameter greater than something like 0.1. If you haven't watched the first part of this animation, okay, how you can just transit between animation, you can go and check that out. I have a link in the description. Okay, and by going watch that firstly, and come back to this. Okay, so you will get hang of it totally. So we setting this. Okay, now if I hit this play button, and if I manually just check this jump parameter to be true or false, depend. Okay, we will gonna back to run animation clip or idle depending upon if the player is moving or not. Okay, so if I set this jump parameter to be true, as you can see, we just playing jump animation clip again and again and again. But when I set this to be false, as you can see, it's playing our idle animation clip, because the player is not moving. So that is the reason we playing the idle animation clip instead of running. and let's suppose the player just runs, okay, jump and directly goes into run, so it will play the gonna play run animation clip instead of idle. Okay, so I hope you get the idea. And we also need to set this jump parameter to be true or false according to what player is doing. Let's suppose we just press space key on our keyboard. In that situation we should play this jump animation clip, okay, and depending upon what we're doing. Okay, so let's set this jump parameter, okay, by through our code first, and we have a reference of this animator component. As you can see, we set this one in the first tutorial. Okay, so let's open up our player script one more time. Now we're gonna use over here. Okay, so as you can see, if we pressing space key at the moment, if we are just standing on the ground, in that situation we just adding some velocity to the y-axis, basically we jumping. So in that situation we also need to play that jump animation clip. Okay, so what we will do, we will go over to animator, then we will set that bool because and make this first bracket. We know this is a bool parameter, this jump is bool parameter. Okay, it can be true or false, that's why we have to use this function. It's called animator. We firstly going to that animator and then we using this set bool function. So as a first argument, this function will take the parameter name which we set, and we know over here, so type the same spelling right over there, else it will not gonna work. So in quotation you have to type this jump parameter. Okay, so make quotation and pass the same spelling, and then comma, and the parameter you have to set. Okay, so in this case we will set it to true, and we know if it's we set that jump parameter to true, we just playing basically. If I said select this transition from idle to jump, as you can see, if we set this jump parameter to true, it will play this jump animation clip. Okay, so I hope you get the idea. So when we try to click a space key on our keyboard, so at the moment we will set this jump parameter to be true. Basically we just gonna play the jump animation clip. Okay, and close that up with semicolon. Control S to save your code, and let's go to Unity. And if I hit this play button in the top, and we also need to set that jump parameter to be false, else we're not gonna able to go back to run animation clip or idle animation clip, because as a first condition we have chosen that a jump parameter should be false. Okay, if we just select back transition from jump to running or idle, we're gonna able to see that. Okay, so if I hit this play button now and try to press on my keyboard space key, we will play the jump animation clip right away. Okay, so just wait for to compile and gonna able to see that. So if I say, as you can see, but we not never going back to the our running or idle animation clip, depending upon if the player is really moving or not. So we also need to go back to our player run. So when we shoot, so as a first argument, as you can see, we have to choose jump, we set false. Basically we have to uncheck this jump parameter, basically means we have to set that to false. Okay, so when we shoot, when we just standing on the ground or collide with the ground, we should play running or jumping animation clip depending upon if the player is moving or not. So we need to check set this jump parameter to be false. Okay, or uncheck this. So as you can see, so we also need to set this. So we will use this function, okay, void on collision inter 2D function, and we know this function get called when we collide with something. Okay, and over here we checking if we colliding with that ground. Okay, so over here what we will do, we will set that parameter false, which is jump. So we have to use this function one more time. It says it is say animator dot set bool. Okay, as a quotation, in quotation we have to type the parameter name, which is jump. Okay, and the condition we have to choose the condition. So as a second argument we will pass false. Okay, and we know if we set that jump parameter to be false, it will play the running or idle depending upon the player movement. Okay, and close that up with semicolon. Control S to save your code, and let's go to Unity. Okay, so when we're setting that jump parameter to be false, when we just colliding with that ground, So basically we just standing on the ground or running on the ground. Okay, so in that situation we should not play jump animation clip over again and again. So in that situation we should play idle or running depending upon the player movement. Okay, basically we need to just set this jump parameter to be false, so it will go back to run or idle. Okay, now if I hit this play button one more time and try to click space key on my keyboard, we will play the jump animation, and as soon as we collide with this ground we will play the idle or running depending upon player movement. Okay, so as you can see, when we just collide with this ground, as you can see we playing idle animation clip, but once I run, as you can see, we just playing the running animation clip right away instead of idle animation clip by depending upon according to player movement. Okay, so the next thing we have to cover up the player rotation. As you can see, when we just going to the left direction, we not looking into that direction, so we also need to set that. We will do in the next tutorial. Okay, so I hope you get the basics idea of it, how you can just play jumping animation clip and just make transition between animations. Okay, so lastly, thanks for watching this video.